Muslims, we believe that the miracle of Islam is the Quran.
Yeah.
You see, what you've got to remember is in the past, messengers would come.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the messengers always called to one God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then to prove to somebody that you're a messenger from God, you have to do a miracle, don't you? So if I come and say, God sent me, nobody's going to believe me. Everybody's going to go, boo. Yeah.
Okay.
But then if I do something like a miracle, then you believe, God has sent him. So this is why Moses came and he parted the sea. Yeah. But when Moses parted the sea, let's imagine after he parted the sea's now come back together, and you come along 15 minutes later, and everybody's standing there still with their mouth open.
Yeah.
And you go, what's happening here? And they go, he just parted the sea.
Fair enough.
Then you would say, no, he didn't, because it's back together. Then you would say, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
So if you don't see it,
You don't believe.
you don't believe it.
Yeah.
And even if you saw it, then what happens? Then you tell your son about it.
Yep.
And your son goes, yeah, dad told me this. But then your son didn't see it. But then he tells his son. And gradually over time, people think, well, they said this man came and he did this, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then God sends another messenger because they go off the path again. So God sends another messenger. He sends Jesus. So what I'm trying to get to is the first miracle was transient. It
Yeah.
didn't last very long, did it? If you missed it, that was it. It was gone. Second miracle. So Jesus comes. He goes, I'm from God. He does miracles. People believe him. He cures the lepers, raises the dead.
Yep.
Again, after he cured the leper, if you come 15 minutes later and people said, he just cured that man from leprosy. He just brought this man back to life. And you come and you say, no, he didn't. He was already alive. You won't believe it. So what happens after? You see, this is why the miracle of Islam is the Quran itself. And it's supposed to be a miracle. It is a miracle that will last till the end of time. That the Quran is being read somewhere in the world every moment of the day. There's somebody in the world reading the Quran right now and reading it in its original language. And not only that, there's people who are memorizing the Quran. Yeah. And there's people who have memorized the Quran. So what is the significance of this? If you deleted every copy of the internet and you burnt every copy, so there's no Qurans left now. Everything's deleted, everything's gone. Then the Muslims could bring the message back of God in one day because we've memorized it. Everybody is a part of the miracle. But Jews, God sent them a message, but their rabbis were entrusted with the message. But they sold out the message for a small price. The Christians, their clergy, were trusted with the message, but again they sold out the message. God himself took charge of this message, and where did he implant it? In the hearts of men. So, every single one of us can read some of the Quran word for word, some more, some less, some all. I'm going to be honest with you. About a month and a half ago, I was chatting to somebody here who was an ex-Muslim.
Yep.
So I said, why are you an ex-Muslim? So he started telling me, whatever the reasons were. So he says, okay, prove to me why it's the truth. So I said, when was the last time you read the Quran? He goes, I can't even remember. He's been like an atheist for 30 years. So I said, I'm going to read some Quran to you. You correct me. He goes, no, I can't. I haven't read it in a long time. I said, don't worry. Let's just see what happens.
Yep.
So I read some Quran to him.
Yep.
And I started deliberately making mistakes in it.
Yep.
And he hadn't read the Quran in so long, but he started correcting me. I said, how are you able to correct me? Don't you see? This message can't be effaced. If God sends you a message, and that message is your salvation, that message can never disappear.
All right.
Because if it disappears, then you can say to God, well, I didn't follow your message because it disappeared or it had mistakes in it. So I didn't follow the Bible. Sorry, I didn't follow the Bible. It's got mistakes in it. And you know that it's got mistakes in it, contradictory verses.
Yeah, I found out.
Yeah.
I mean, not say I found out, but I learned more after I saw some of the other YouTubers.
So given what I've said, Ian, if what I'm saying is the truth, is this message corruptible? If so many thousands of people around the world have memorized it, is it corruptible?
No.
No. Is there another book like this? Is there another book that can't be corrupted? So now you've got to ask yourself, why is this the only book like that? And this book makes a claim. It says that it's from God. And it says that it's your salvation. Isn't that a powerful argument for you to think? So given what I've just said, do you believe this book? Given what I've just said,
I think I do.
Do you believe this book is from the one true creator?
Yes.
So let's imagine you have the Quran and it can't be corrupted, but you can't read it. Is the message in it any good? You can't read it. So what's the point in what's written in it? So what I would like to posit is the language of the Quran, the Arabic language of the Quran is also preserved. Not only is the message not corruptible, now the language is also preserved. And these are just some of the little things that I'm sharing with you. You will find many other proofs as well to prove that this is from the one true God. And do you believe this message must have come from that creator, given what I've said? And apply. And if you don't, you'd have to apply this. So you do. Great. And do you believe that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person who brought the message? So if the message is correct, then the message bringer must also be a true messenger.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, you know what you've just done, Ian?
Yeah.
You've just become a Muslim. You've just told me you believe in Allah, you believe in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you believe in the Quran being his message. Brother, I don't see what's holding you back. Apart from the shaitan, there's one thing holding you back right now. One thing, the shaitan. It's been my pleasure chatting to you.
Yeah, same.
You're a very sincere guy. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your eyes.